Hi everyone, my name is Leslie Wynn. Unfortunately, my camera is not working. I'm not sure why, but hopefully you can hear me. So I decided to do my paper on Roger Arliner Young, and if you've never heard of her before, I would not be surprised. So she was the one of the first African American zoologists and marine biologists, and her legacy is very important because she challenged the pre-existing conditions in the scientific community. I mean, as we all know, during this time, science was a man's world, specifically a white man's world. So, for an African American woman to establish herself within this community, it made people uncomfortable and it forced them to see her as an equal. And it was very difficult for her to build her name and reputation as well as earn that respect that she absolutely deserved. Luckily, with the help of her mentor, Ernest Everett Just, who was also a professor in undergrad, she was able to successfully pursue a career in biology. So I chose this topic because I myself am a marine biology major here at San Jose State, and I understand how underrepresented African Americans are, not just specifically in marine biology, but in ecology, ecological sciences in general. So I wanted to take this opportunity to understand when African Americans began to become more invested in marine biology. Um, some major contributions. So, like I said earlier, she was one of the first female African American marine biologists and zoologists. She was the first African American in general to earn a doctorate in zoology, which is incredible, and it makes it better that she's a woman. She was the first female African American to work at the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, Virginia. And while she worked there, she worked closely with scientists like her mentor, Ernest Everett Just and Levi Heilbrunn. And she published multiple research articles with them, as well as contributed to many different discoveries that they've came across in the field. Also, she became a member of the Sigma Psi Honorary Society in 1926, and this was significant because she did so without yet obtaining her doctoral degree in zoology. At the time, she had only earned her master's from the University of Chicago in zoology. Major points that I came across during the study, one is that you should not fear the unknown. So she went into Howard University as a music major, but after one general biology course taught by her mentor, he convinced her to pursue a career in biology, and she did so successfully. Another major point is that she didn't let preconceptions in society define her levels of success. Again, her presence in a field that is predominantly white men forced society to see her as an equal, and her accomplishments outshone her the color of her skin. And she was respected over many years for her research and her contributions in her field. Also, her awareness of her mental health and how open she was about it was very inspiring. For many years, she was depressed during her career because she had to balance her own workload as a professor as well as her mentor, whom she was still um, directly working under. She had to balance his workload as well as taking care of her sick mother, whom eventually died in 1953. After her mother's death, she checked herself into a mental asylum, and once she was checked out, she had difficulties uh, holding a steady job. So her mental health led to the end of her career, unfortunately. Another major point is her dependence on Ernest Just and how it created and completely destroyed her entire scientific career. Since undergraduate school, Ernest Just had financially, emotionally, and mentally supported Roger in everything that she did. So most of her career as a marine biologist and zoologist, she was trying to please him and pay him back for creating her establishment. Unfortunately, the same thing that created her career is the same thing that destroyed her after the relationship came to an end and he got her fired from her position as a professor at Howard University. And at that point, when she got fired, is when she um, went to a very depressive state. um, and that's when she began to see her downfall in her scientific field. But the most important point that I came across during the study was the underrepresentation of minorities in science, specifically African Americans, and how it's still a very large issue today. The diagram on the left shows that all bachelor degrees earned by African Americans between 1997 and 2017 in the United States alone, and on average, only about 7.6 of African Americans earned a degree in biology. On the right, you can see that between 1995 and 2014, on average, about 4.1% of African American women graduated with a biological degree. And this is pretty much just to show how in the past 80 years, the percentages of African Americans seen in biology is still extremely low. This research has had a direct impact on me because her story was very inspiring. It inspired me to be fearless in moving forward with my career as a marine biologist. And it's very unfortunate that the same person who was supposed to be her mentor um, built her, but also completely tore her down. And had she let go of her dependency on him, I believe that she could have been so much more than what she had become during her scientific career at the time. But I still find it inspiring to know that she paved the way for many African American women who wanted to pursue a career in science in the future. Her courageousness and her scientific achievements are greatly recognized and highly appreciated. Thank you.